Hello my puzzle loving friends. Welcome back to our live stream. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday with me today. As you can see, we have already done a lot of our puzzle. If you'd like to go ahead and see how we got to this point, please go back and look at my time-lapse video, the last one I did, which was posted this last week, to go ahead and kind of see where we got to this point. I'm excited because now we're getting into our villains and our Scooby Gang. So I kind of have some pieces I was going through, taking them off, or sorry, separating them to kind of go where they should, like in the area. So we have the clown, we have our robot, Scooby, and I still have some edge pieces that I need to go ahead and find where they go. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm trying to do is just kind of finish these edge pieces that I had. That's going to go there, so that when we start doing more of the middle, I like to work from the outside in with these type of puzzles where the edge is very difficult. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. I'm working from the outside in, so I'm going to start finishing up the edges. I hope y'all are having a great Memorial Day weekend, 3-day weekend for a lot of y'all. Super, super exciting. I am super happy I have a 3-day weekend as well. So I am taking advantage of it. A lot of cleaning, a lot of trying to get things organized. So here, there we go. And how I kind of know where these ones are going is I am looking at my box and I'm looking at the colors that go with the edge. So here I see Velma's skirt, and there's where I have Velma's skirt right there. So of course I have my box handy because my box is kind of my go-to on where the pieces should go. Here we have blue, so I know these are going to be Fred's pants. So I'm gonna see, there we go. This one I haven't been able to kind of link where it's gonna go. Usually with these type of pieces is as I'm working, I'll be like, okay, this is where I'm missing a piece. No. Like here's where I'm missing a piece maybe. And as we go, we can always figure out, okay, maybe this one doesn't go there, because see how that fits here. We have the green, that fits good there. So I'm gonna say this one doesn't go here. So I'm gonna go ahead, and it does look like these are Shaggy's pants. So this one may be one of those that we will locate as we're working. Because this one, I'm trying to see where the pink is, and it's missing, like some of these are missing some of the pink. And that's where I'm trying to go ahead and get it connected to. But if we look at Shaggy's pants, we see this kind of matches the color. So I know these are going to go somewhere. This piece is going to go somewhere here. When I have these type of pieces that I know where they should go, but I can't really locate where it's going to fit yet, I'll just put it off to the side. And as we're working, I'll see like, okay, that's where it should go. Let's go ahead and get some of these other pieces. Let's work on Scooby. We have some of these edge pieces for Scooby. So again, what I'm looking for, I know this is gonna go ahead and be black, so I'm looking for this black edge that doesn't have a piece yet. It needs to be complete. So that's what I'm looking for here. See, we have, and of course we want it to fit nicely. We don't want to be shoving the pieces in there, because that could of course ruin our pieces, and we don't want that. Here we go. Some of our pieces are fitting nicely together. Again, this one's missing white. So I'm going to go ahead and look for, there we go, a piece that needs that white there. Yes, a mystery piece, Stacy. You have this mystery piece that needs to go somewhere. Let's see, so again, just looking for these pieces that will fit nicely. I was hoping that would fit nicely there. It does not, but it fits nicely there, and that's great. So let's go ahead and see this. It's gonna go somewhere here because we already see the collar, and we know this is gonna be part of his collar as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this off to the side, or I have here my Scooby tray, so I'm just gonna put that back in my Scooby tray. I did today put together a list. Well, not just today, I've been going through this last week trying to find the ones that I feel are the top 10 villains of Scooby-Doo. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through that now. Going through it, I never realized how many villains there are. And I should have gone in knowing because it's been on for so long. So there are so many villains to choose from when I was trying to figure out the top 10. There are also so many top 10 villains lists to look at when you Google it. So going through it, I was kind of looking at which ones I thought were the scariest, and I am a huge chicken. So looking at, I was like, okay, yeah, this one's super scary. This one's not so scary. So for my top 10 villains, I have at number 10, the Ghost of Captain Cutler. So the Ghost of Captain Cutler was actually on season 1 of Scooby-Doo, so the original season. He was allegedly a sailor that died in a shipwreck. But in reality, he was a thief going out there stealing a lot of this bounty that ships would bring in. He is actually on in our puzzle. This is the Ghost of Captain Cutler. So it's one of those old-timey sailor outfits. Of course, we don't use these type of things too much anymore when we go scuba diving or when our sailors go in the water. But this is our Ghost of Captain Cutler. He was number 10. Of course, this is just my list. Everyone else may have their own opinion on which one's the scariest or the top 10, but he is my top 10. Next, I have Redbeard's Ghost. So Redbeard's Ghost was one of the most vicious. Reading about him, he really didn't care too much if he hurt anybody, or kind of he just did what he wanted to do and didn't care. And of course, you could say that about a lot of the villains, but some of them do have a conscience, you know, and they're like, well, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Maybe this isn't right. Not him. He did not care. So he was actually Mr. Magnus. He stole lots of his own cargo as Redbeard so that he could go ahead and claim the insurance money. So that's his little backstory. And he is number 9 on my list. So next on my list will be our number 8. Number 8, I do have Charlie the Robot. Charlie the Robot is also featured on our puzzle. This is Charlie the Robot. He was featured in an episode called Foul Play in Funland. He is actually considered one of the first monsters in Scooby-Doo because he wasn't a person that they unmasked. He was a robot, and he was programmed by his creator's sister to wreak havoc at Funland. So I thought that was a nice tidbit there, some good information, that he was one of those first monsters. He wasn't a person to be unmasked, because when we think of Scooby, or when I think of Scooby, I usually think of these villains being unmasked at the end of the show, and that's like, oh my goodness, it was him, not Charlie the Robot. So now we have number 7. Number 7, I have the Ghost of Mr. Hyde. So in this episode, it kind of played on the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. In this story, though, it had Mr. Jekyll faking his transformation as Mr. Hyde. And the reason he was faking it is so he could kind of still be a thief, and when they found the jewels in his house, he'd be like, I don't know, it wasn't me. It was my other personality. Wouldn't it be nice to just be able to do that, right? It wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about. So the Ghost of Mr. Hyde is our number 7. Our number 6 is the Black Knight. So with number 6, I went way back to the beginning, and I went to our first villain, our number 1 episode, the Black Knight. The Black Knight does make a reappearance in the live action movie. I think it came out in 2004, I'd like to say, Scooby-Doo 2. And the Black Knight is actually the museum curator scaring off the museum patrons and the Scooby Gang. And I see we are coming on nicely with this puzzle. We are finding our pieces. And of course, it is a work. You know, sometimes they don't fit. What I do is I'm like, okay, doesn't go there. I'll move it to the side and look for my next piece. Here I have some of our old witch and our werewolf in this tray. So what I did before our live stream today is I still have this box, and I have a lot of pieces still. So I did go through and I started kind of separating them into how I'm going to work it. I have Scooby, I have some of the gang's faces, their hair. So as we're working, it's easy for me to go through each tray to match to what part of the puzzle we're doing. And it could be, I could say, oh, it's so easy, we're going to do each part. But sometimes you see a piece of your puzzle and you're like, oh wait, I know what goes there. And you'll find the piece. Even though I was working on Scooby, I was like, wait, I see a lot of pieces for her. Let me go ahead and work on the witch. So it's okay if you go back and forth working on it. That's okay. Work the puzzle, what's best on how it works for you. I don't know if that makes sense, but it made sense in my head when I was thinking it. So where did we leave off? Number 6. So now we're at number 5, the middle of our list. So at number 5, we have the tar monster. This one, I don't really know a lot about the episode, but when I saw the tar monster, he looked a little scary to me. Well, a lot scary. So I was like, okay, this guy got to go on my list. What I did read about him is this is one of those international cases that the Scooby Gang works on, and this one is actually located in Turkey. So that was something new for me. I have seen a lot of episodes. I've seen a few that, like, I think I remember seeing one that was in Canada. I didn't really know they did a lot international episodes, so that was new to me, and I was like, wow, that's really interesting to learn. So I was really glad when I found that tidbit out. So now I want to see, here we have his nose. So I'm going to try to find the pieces that I have in here that go to his nose. This one doesn't go in here. This is part of the werewolf. So I'm going to put it in the werewolf. Here we have a curved piece that we know goes to our edge. Thank you, Stacy. I hope it made sense. But you do understand my craziness a lot more than others, so may it made sense to you. So let's see. I have the piece of his collar. We have another, here are some pieces of the collar that we can put together on the side, and then put it all together when we start building Scooby up. So let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and look at his nose. Gonna work. That doesn't work there. Here we go. And this puzzle has some of the weirdest shaped pieces. Like this little curved piece isn't something that you see in a lot of puzzles, but it's easy when you find the place where it goes, because that's the only puzzle piece that would fit there. So I like that about these odd shapes. It's easier for me to find where they go. So here we have his smile, or his scared grin. We have his eyes, which I think go, there we go. And his grin, I'm looking at, this should go here maybe? No, okay. Maybe we haven't got, we need a piece here to complete this. So let's go to number 4 on our list. So number 4, we have our Headless specter. So when I saw the picture of this, it was, to me, if I would have seen this as a child, I would have been super scared because it's a man with no head, or a person with no head. This ghost does appear in the episode called The Haunted House Hang-Up. The thing that I found very interesting about the Headless specter is that he is not really a bad guy. He isn't a villain looking to hurt anybody. He is actually the owner of the haunted mansion, and he's looking for his great grandfather's fortune. There are people in the episode trying to steal the fortune from him, so he creates the Headless specter to kind of scare them off while he's looking for the fortune. So to me, when I was reading about him, I didn't really think of him as a bad guy. It's more like, it is his fortune, right? It is his grandfather's money. So I really didn't see it as him stealing or him taking something that wasn't his. I thought of it as him protecting something that was his. So that's how I thought when I read about that villain, the Headless specter. So now look more into, take out a little bit more Scooby's pieces, kind of start putting him together. Let's see. Okay. There are some pieces where we have Shaggy in here as well, because Shaggy and Scooby do kind of interlap here with his paw and his name tag. So we are going to have some of Shaggy when we're working on Scooby. So now we are at number 3. We are almost at the end of our top 10 villains. My list of the top 10 villains. So number 3, I have the Phantom Shadows. The Phantom Shadows were, I guess, because if part of the show they were just shadows and part of the show they look like ghosts. So it could be either one. And what the phantom shadows were, they were there to scare off heirs of a fortune one by one. They wanted to go ahead and be the only ones to score that inheritance. I don't know if a lot of y'all are familiar with a show called Supernatural. I love that show. I'm gonna look for a puzzle of Supernatural just so I can talk about it because it's one of my favorites. It's an amazing show. I'm so sad it ended. But back to our Scooby-Doo. Supernatural actually did a crossover with Scooby-Doo. And the premise was this episode of the Phantom Shadows. And that episode was called Scooby-Natural. So if you'd like to go ahead and see that, they are streaming it on Netflix. You can go ahead and see it there. That's where I see when I am in the mood to watch an episode. I can go there and I can watch it. But I saw that episode and I thought it was great. But again, I'm a huge fan. And that may be why I thought it was so good. So now we are at number 2 on our list. And at number 2, we have The Mummy of Ankha. Ankha. A-N-K-H-A. Ankha. So this mummy was scaring off the visitors at a museum. He was looking for an Egyptian coin, which at the end you find out that Shaggy had all along. Shaggy had that Egyptian coin. So you're like, what? He had it this whole time? But yeah, he had it this whole time. And what the person who was dressed as the mummy, he knew that this coin would unlock a hippo statue's hidden compartment that held a diamond scarab. And the person who did all this, Dr. Najib, he was the one who wanted that coin for himself. So the mummy would go around and all he would say was, coin, coin, trying to scare them all to give him that coin. The reason, oh, he is on our box also. Here he is, he's in the middle. So that is our mummy, number 2 on our top 10. So let me get a little bit more Scooby. I can try to find some of these pieces. So I think his ear is gonna go somewhere up here, of course. So I'm gonna put his ear over here somewhere. Okay. And the reason I'm putting it over here is, of course, to go back to our reference. Here we see Shaggy's chin, and our piece there is Shaggy's chin. So we know that the chin is going to go there. So now take out some of our pieces. What I'm trying to find are the pieces for his mouth. Trying to see if any of these will go ahead and work. Try to get that mouth going. And it's okay once you do, like we did here, we did quite a bit of Scooby. And if you get stuck, and sometimes when doing puzzles, not for me, because I love kind of the going back and forth, but I have had people tell me that they get very frustrated when they can't complete a part of the puzzle. Just move on. If you get to a point and you're like, okay, none of these pieces are fitting on this Scooby, go to another part of the puzzle. Don't get frustrated, because when you get frustrated, you lose the fun of the puzzle, and puzzles are so much fun. So like right now, I'm going to try a few more things here to try to see if I can find where these Scooby pieces go. And if I can't find them, I'll just move to another part of my puzzle. I don't want to frustrate myself, because then you lose the fun of the puzzle. So I am going to move this. What I'm looking at is here. I'm going to look for his hands, because I know here we stop. We have his paw, and then we have his name tag. So we're going to try to work on his paw. Some of these might be his paw. We're looking at the lines. They could be his paw, or they also could be his mouth. If you look at his mouth as well, they are both very thick lines. So a lot of these pieces could be either or. His mouth or his paw. But we know where they go. We know they go either here or here. So we kind of were almost there. So see, here we go. I think, or I'm a liar, doesn't go there. And of course, another thing we want to look at is what could fit there. Of course, with this one could have fitted there. We have that. You know, one of these could fit. But of course, something like this is not going to fit. So we want to make sure we're looking at where we're going to put our piece to make sure it makes sense on where we want to put it. So again, down here, I know his smile goes here somewhere. Just trying to figure out where it goes. And that does look great. There we go. We have his smile. If you look up here, we have that little curve of his scaredy cat smirk. So we know that one goes there. So now when we're coming here, we're looking for a piece that we know is going to fit here, which kind of is going to help us figure out and narrow down what can and can't go there. This one is not going to fit. It looks like it could, but if you see, this one's a little bit off and this one's more straight. So we know that one's not going to fit. This one fits perfect. They do look like they could be almost the same, but it's those little tiny things you're looking for. How this one was a little off. So we know this one would not have fit. So let's go ahead and I'm looking for something here. So I know it's going to have a top here. That one's not going to fit. And I'm also looking for ones that have his little tiny circles here, which I don't see on any of my pieces here, which is fine. It could just be in the box still. Like I mentioned, I wasn't able to go through all of these yet to kind of separate them out. So I'm not too worried about that. But now let's go ahead and say our number one villain. To me, of course, again, this is just what I think. I'm going to go with Ghost Clown. This guy. We have him on our box. Ghost Clown, like our number 9, Redbeard's Ghost, is again one of the most vicious villains in the Scooby-Doo series. And the reason being is he also didn't care who he hurt. He didn't care if he killed anybody. He was just out for revenge. Another reason why I picked him is I hate clowns. I am terrified of clowns. I think they are so scary and I just don't like them. which is why I chose him. Like, I don't like clowns at all. So he is my number one. And and who he was when they unmasked him is he's actually Harry the hypnotist. Harry the hypnotist that worked in the circus for Mr. Brandstorm. And what happened is he was caught stealing. So Mr. Brandstorm did have him arrested, and he was sent to prison for being a thief. He got so mad about that, he created the persona, the ghost clown, and wreaked havoc on the circus as revenge. And again, he was not the nicest villain. He didn't care who he hurt or if he hurt anybody. It was more like, I want to hurt this person, and I don't care who I hurt doing it. And he's one of the villains who actually kind of got the Scooby Gang off guard. And he hypnotized a few of the members, because remember, he was Harry the hypnotist, so he was able to hypnotize our beloved gang. And he did. He hypnotized them to kind of throw him off his scent and had him do other things. So that was when I was like, what? And of course, he had to be a clown. To me, clowns are the most scary creatures. I hate them. I don't see the purpose of a clown. Maybe it's just me, but I don't like them. I do want to, though, do an It puzzle when we get closer to Halloween, because I do love the movie It. And it's so weird because it scares me so much, but I love to be scared. I love horror movies. You'll see I'll do quite a bit of horror movie puzzles because I really do enjoy horror movies. See, so I have a few here. Nope, thought it would fit. It looks like it could go here, but it doesn't, so I'm gonna try that. No, remember, I want to try not to force them because you could damage the puzzle, and we don't want to damage the puzzle. There we go. We found our piece, and now this one. Let's see. We don't have it yet, so I'm gonna go here. No. Maybe it's no. See, this one will not fit. Looking for something to complete this line. This has an empty spot. It's not going to go together. So we know this one we won't. We know this one doesn't go here either. The green should be on the outside and not the inside. We already tried that one. Let's go into our puzzle pieces. And again, it's trial by error, trying to find these sometimes. Sometimes you'll see it and you're like, oh, I know where that goes. And sometimes you're like, I just can't figure out where this piece goes. And like I said, when you get there and you get frustrated, take a step back, focus on another piece of your puzzle. Right, Stacy and Alexis, clowns are awful. I hate them. I don't understand why people love to go see clowns. I would rather go see anything else but clowns. Clowns are not my cup of tea. So here I know that we do have this hair, and it's going to be part of her shirt and the hair of our werewolf. So we kind of know where these pieces are going. We just need to, like I said, work from the outside in and find these pieces that we are missing to try to go ahead and get it together. We have another part of her shirt and our werewolf's jacket. We have our werewolf's face. Like I said, we don't want to try to shove it in. There we go. So we're slowly getting some pieces of our puzzle in the right place. There we go. And we know the face is gonna go somewhere about right here. So I'm gonna put that there. We know it's gonna go here somewhere. I had some of the clown pieces also separated, and I actually think I put them in there by accident. Mixed them all up, but I did. Okay. So we're gonna stop here. We did a lot of our puzzle just in this last 30 minutes. We did Scooby's face, we did the clown's face, we kind of finished up our edges. Super excited, we are almost done. I would really like you all to keep an eye out for this week. I'm gonna have another time lapse where I work on more of the outer part of the puzzle coming in. So by our next live, it'll probably be the completion of our puzzle, which is super exciting. And then we can start our new puzzle, which is I'm very excited about as well. I would like to give a special happy birthday to our viewer, Alexis. I hope you have a great day tomorrow. Happy birthday. And to all my other viewers and subscribers, if you like this video, please push that like button, subscribe, tell your friends about me. I love to go ahead and share my love with puzzles with anybody who'd want to go ahead and watch. Y'all have a great Sunday, and I will see you all next week. Thank you, my puzzle friends.